What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Clemson Air Raid playbook in College Football 26. Garrett Riley, Cade Klubnik. This is a really good air raid playbook. They had a really good season last year. They going to have a pretty good one this year, I would imagine. I think they're poised to possibly go the whole way and win the national title. I think they could do it. They got the quarterback at least, and I think their defense is pretty nasty. Well, their air raid offense is pretty cool. This is one of the better air raid playbooks back in College Football 25. I think this is a nasty one in 26. So we're going to look at the formations, concepts, play types, and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. Starting off, formations. We got a wide variety of things here. We got some pistol. Of course, we got plenty of shotgun. We got a little single back. We got an I formation. We got power I. And if you need a lot of diversity in your formations and your looks in general, this is about as good as it gets when it comes to the air raid. But let's start at the very top. Pistol. We got two formations. We got a 2x2 look and doubles Y off. And then we got Y off trips. You're just moving that slot receiver over to the other side. When you go through here, normally what I like to do is find the motion mini-series, things of that nature. You're not going to find any in these pistol formations. It's just basic run, play action, nothing too out of the ordinary. These are good for change-ups. You got some RPOs built in these if you need them. But otherwise, again, it's just basic run, play action. The bulk of the offense is going to be in the shotgun. Let's start here. We got a two-back look. Split slot offset. You got a slot receiver over on the right. 27 plays there. Then we got wing slot offset. So this is a one-back attack, as you can tell. This one is a 2x2 look. Got a couple tight ends on one side, a couple receivers on the other. Then we got wing slot weak. You're basically just moving your halfback over to the left. And then we get into more three wide stuff. The bulk of the offense is going to be this. Doubles off close, a nice little condensed formation, 2x2. Then we got doubles Y off, a very popular formation in the game. Then we got the weak version of that. Then we got Y off trips weak. You're just moving the slot receiver over. And then we got wing trips weak. Now you're just moving that halfback over to the right. Now we got wing trips weak. You're moving it back over to the left. And then we get into bunch open offset. I love bunch formations, especially if they're a little different than your, more traditional bunch formations. This one's more of a spread out bunch look. And then you got bunch wide. So pay attention to your tight end. He's number 11. This is still like 11 personnel territory. We also got bunch wide, spread him out a little bit more, but still giving that bunch look. Then we got a double stack. And then we got spread. This is a true 4 wide receiver look, 2x2. And then we got spread halfback weak. You're just moving that halfback over to the weak side. And then we got tray open. So your tight end is back out there in a couple of these. And then you go to trips, back to that 4 wide, 3x1 look. That complements that spread formation we just looked at. We got the weak version of it. And then we got an empty base trio, a typical 11 personnel formation. And now we're back to split slot open. So you got a good typical variety here. Again, you got a little 2-back formation. This one has got some really cool stuff in it. This is one of my favorite formations. The offset one's going to be even more fun, but we're going to go through here and look at the offset. Just expect a lot of halfback swing in this formation. We got an RPO, a PAY cross. We got an RPO peak swing weak. You keep on going. We got this little bunch right here. We got a mesh. We got a mesh wheel. And then we got an RPO peak stick. So this is all air raid type stuff. I'm going to call this spot mesh. We'll go up against like a random 2-5. That's fine. Bring just a basic motion swing over there. He's wide open. If we can get a block, nice. Very simple play there. Again, you got mesh with a backside swing, but he's got a blocker to help him out, which I think is just really neat. So that's a cool little concept. You keep on going. So all three of those plays work pretty well together, as you can see. You keep on going. We also have more halfback swing. We got a spot. We got a QB draw, and we got a Y cross. I'm going to call the QB draw. This is an RPO, by the way. I'm going to force it. I'm going to let the quarterback actually run this one, even though we may not have the numbers. But I still think that's pretty neat to do something like this. You don't see these types of plays too often. There's little RPO QB draws, especially out of a 2-back look. So I think that's a really neat little play. You keep on going. Let's see. We got the Y cross to go with. So again, this is spots, Y corner. Y cross is Y cross. Again, this is air raid stuff we're talking about. We also got a more halfback swing. We got a peak swing. We got a double pass, and we got another RPO read swing. So a lot of RPOs built into this one. And guess what? We got more halfback swing. We got another spot. We got a triple option play, and we got a cross swing screen to go with that. So a lot of halfback swings out of this formation. This is going to be your go-to 2-back formation. If you got two decent halfbacks, by all means, this is the one you go to. But you still got some split slot open if you need it. Again, it's got plenty of air raid stuff in there. Now we get into the one-back stuff. Wing slot offset, we got a nice jet sweep series. We got a screen, fake zone, we got a halfback wheel. And then we got more jet sweep. We got the fake, we got a halfback duo. I love duo. It's fun double teaming defenders up the front. Then we got a PA jet sweep on top of that. We got a halfback. It's an exit motion, more or less. The halfback just going out, giving you an empty look. You got pivot, you got basic stick, and you got double cross, which is technically mesh. And let's go over to wing slot weak. Do we got any motion here? We do not. What about doubles off close? We got more jet sweep. We got a mid screen to the tight end, which is really cool. You got your basic jet sweep, and you got verticals on top of that. And we got more. We got the fake. We got another fake on top of that. And then we got a PA jet sweep. So a lot of swings and jet sweeps so far in terms of your motion. Doubles Y off. Here we got a tight end. This is technically like another exit motion. You got a spot, you got a slip screen, you got a spot and go. Do we have more jet sweep? We got the basic jet, we got the verticals, and we got the inside zone on top of that. And we got the same look. We got a RPO jet, which is really neat. Then you got a mid screen, and you got a power O. So if you need a little gap run with your jet sweep, there you go. You keep on going. We got doubles Y off weak. We got more jet sweep. So this is one thing you can look at with this playbook. It's an air raid jet sweep type of offense, but it's got other motions built into it. But here we have a fake toss. We got a fake jet. We got another toss. So this is really cool. You don't see a lot of jet toss plays, especially off the fakes like that. I think that's really neat. You look at more jet sweep. We got an RPO. We got a read option off of that jet sweep, which is really rare. Then we got a jet read Y slide. Just, I mean, fun stuff to look at. You go to Y off trip sweep. Do we have any motion here? We got more halfback swing. We got the basic swing. We got a little switch concept, and we got basic Z spot, which again is Y corner in the air raid world. You keep on going. Wing trips. Do we have any here? What about wing trips weak? Do we have any right here? What about bunch open offset? Usually these condensed formations typically don't have them. Even if it's like bunch wide, we can check here just to verify. I don't think there was. Yeah. Double stack, you're hardly going to have any motion in this one. Spread, now we're getting to the 4 wide true spread looks. Right here, we have more halfback exit motion, but guess what? It's just like another swing. You got a post curl, and you got to, guess what, another Z spot. How many spots have we seen so far? A bunch. A lot of air raid in here, as there should be. Spread halfback weak, we have motion Y cross, a screen, and a Y sail, but this time the halfback is going in front of the quarterback. I'm going to call the halfback screen. It's just pretty cool. Always like screens. Again, this is air raid. Implement your screens whenever you can. Looks like they're going man according to that little look. I'm going to force it to him just to kind of show you the play designed for him. But if they're going man, you can always hit the Ohio concept over on the left. So kind of think zone on the right, man on the left for that one. That's the real purpose of that motion right there, is to kind of give you an idea of what that defense is doing. So those three plays work pretty well together. You keep on going. We got more screen or swings. We got an all curl. We got a halfback swing. Then we got a Z spot. You keep on going. Go to tray open. We have some slot receiver motion to the left this time. We got some H stuff. This is your other slot receiver. H motion mesh, shallow cross, mesh post. This just screams fun air raid right here with a lot of motion built into it. You keep on going. We go over to trips. Usually these trips, spread formations, they don't have a lot of motion in it, but this is a blue blood playbook. You just never know what to expect. You go to empty base trio. A lot of these empty formations typically don't. So you got a lot of really cool things in here. Like 90% of your offense is going to come from the gun formations. Let's go look at this single back formation. We got wing flex close, a 2x2 look. We got 12 plays here, and guess what? Some jet sweep. Again, if you want air raid and you want jet sweep, this is about as good as you're going to get. Let's go to I formation. We got an I tight. You got a 2 tight ends out there, and you got that number 40. That is a fullback. For those of you who don't know who that is, fullbacks are so rare these days, but it's what you would expect out of I tight. Run the ball with a little play action. I would use this for like your 3rd and 4th and shorts, things of that nature. You can also do the same thing with power I tight. We got 6 plays here. Again, it's just more run with a little bit of play action built into it. So that is it for the formations. I want to go over to personnel. We've already hinted at some of this. Let's just go to the very bottom. Let's start there. Let's go down here. So we do got enough 4 wide looks. We got spread with 24 plays. Then you got trips with 18. Then you got weak with that with 18 plays right there. So you got more 4 wide stuff that you know what to do with. If I'm going to run an air raid offense, I need at least a little bit of this right here. Just enough. Then you can do the rest of it 11 personnel as you would expect. The bulk of this playbook is going to be 11 personnel. But you're going to be going back and forth between these two an absolute ton. You do got a couple tight end formations you can fool around with. You got the wing slot offset, the weak version of it. You can go under center if need be. Then you got your 2-back stuff, which I think is what makes this offense a little bit more fun, a little bit different, especially split slot offset, all those swing motion plays, just an absolute ton. But you got almost 50 plays of the 2-back looks if you need it. You also got your 21 is your clock, but your 22 is your eye tie, 23 is just your goal line, and 32 is that power eye that we looked at. So again, 90% of what you're going to be doing is out of these two formations. Just depends on who your 4th best player is. Is he the tight end or is he the receiver? And if you got 2 killer backs, by all means, this is where you go right here with these 2 formations. All right, let's talk about plays themselves, play type. So this gives you a rough idea of what the offense is trying to do. We have a little bit of option, just 20 plays. This is not an option-heavy attack, but we got plenty of RPOs. 46 is a high number. I think Texas still has the #1 spot with like over 70, but 46 is a lot. A lot of RPOs in this air raid attack. I want to go up to the very top and just point out a couple things. I always like to check out the QB runs. A lot of times QB runs get neglected in the concept section. Here, we don't have hardly any QB runs. You are not meant to really run the quarterback in this offense. I mean, for the most part. I mean, of course, you got some option plays, but that's not what this offense is about. So I just wanted to point this out. Let's go over to the passing. I do want to point out play action. 54 play action, you'll be using it some. It depends on how much you want to run the ball, but you may be doing so much RPO, so you may not be using some of this. It just kind of depends. I think it really depends on your concept that you like to use. For example, PA fake screen cross, and the play over here on the right, PA bubble Y over. Though that's Y cross to me. If you're a big Y cross / slot cross guy, you're going to be doing these as well. It's just play action, all it is, but it's still just cross. Again, if that's a staple of your offense, then you're going to be doing a little bit more play action because of those 2 plays, you know, just to add them in just for fun. You look here, we got shallow cross, more shallow cross. If you're a shallow cross guy, you're going to be doing some play action. Might as well use them. I mean, they're in there. I just want to point that out. 50 plus play actions. There's enough in here that you would probably want to use. Basic screens, 37. That's a pretty high number. Basic, you know, your halfback slip screens, wide receiver mid screens, swings, things of that nature. Notice most of these are halfback oriented. Not all of them. You got a tight end screen. You got your slot screens. I just wanted to point that out, that 37 is a pretty good number for this. I think this should be implemented in your offense big time. Add all those with all these RPOs. I mean, you got 80 screen type plays. I mean, not every RPO is a screen. Don't get me wrong there. I'm just saying you got plenty of screens to work with. All right, so let's go over to concepts. And let's start off with the run game. You kind of look at these numbers here. The option, as we all know, RPOs are built into that. You look at their passing game, it's pretty even. You got mediums and deeps. I expected more medium than deep because the air raid offense is a lot of medium stuff. But let's go up to the very top and look at the base run game. Okay, now this is an air raid offense, but it still can be as balanced as you want it to be. Starting off, you got 9 counters. That's a good number. I do want to go, let's draw is actually pretty good. It's a drop back offense. You're going to need some draw, but inside zone's where it's all at. You're going to start here, do all of your inside work. You're also going to do some outside zone. 10 is a still decent high number for this concept. So a lot of zone running will be had in this type of offense, but you do got some gap scheme stuff. Power 13 plays. So you got these 13, you throw in these counters. It just depends on how much gap scheme you want to run. You still got a little bit more to look at. You got 7 sweeps. And this can be basic sweeps. It could be a buck sweep, as you see right there. I'm going to call this buck because it's been so long since I've done this. I love basic buck sweep. You just got to be patient with the blocking, and hopefully the blocking's decent. That one, it wasn't. I probably went up against like a cover 0 or something. I always pick random on that. But anyway, you got 7 of these, and not all of the jet sweeps are in here. They may be like in the quick game in the play types. You go over to a trap, we just got 1, and it says we just got 1 true jet sweep. But as we know, if you go over to play type, you you go to pass and you go to quick, they like to dump a lot of these shotgun jet sweeps right here, in case you didn't know. Okay, let's go back to the concepts. So we looked at the run game. Again, it's all about, you're going to be doing more zone running than anything else, but you got enough gap if needed. Let's go look at the option. Basic option, this is not what you run this offense for. You got one load, you got 17 reads. If you're going to do any type of option work, it's going to be read option. 17 is a really high number, even for a playbook like this. There's that one speed again. You got a couple triples if you want to get your two backs going, or if you need a slot receiver in an option, you got one play to work with there. But it's really about the RPOs is where you're going to spend most of your time at. We got 13 reads, and this is a little bit of everything, whether it's like a bubble or a backside slant. Even got an alert on one end, which they'll probably be over in the alert section as well. But 13 is a pretty good number. We also got 14 peaks. I'm not the biggest fan of peaks. I'm just not that good at them. But as you can see here, you got plenty to work with. And of course, alert is usually the highest amount in terms of all the RPOs, 19 of them here. Basic bubbles, you got some shock built in, a lot of alert outs. I'm a big alert out guy. So if I was I haven't seen a lot of playbooks that have a ton of alert out, but that's like my go-to. It's just a very pre-snap, simple read. And this playbook's got enough of it that I would definitely use for sure. So again, the bulk of your work is going to be in the RPO section, but throw in a little read option if needed, if the quarterback can handle it, of course. Let's talk about the passing game. Let's go look at the quicks. We got a little bit of everything here. It says we got a 4 Ohio. I do want to point out this right here. We got 15 slants. Notice some of these are going to be stick on one side, slant on the other. Speaking of, we got 12 sticks. So it's going to be pretty much slant and stick. Now, if you want to give true air raid, you may want to focus on these a little bit more than the slants. It's just up to you. But we do got 3 spacings. I want to point that out because spacing is kind of like a shorter, quicker version of spot, which we're going to cover in the medium pass section. So you're going to spend a lot of your passing game here, in my opinion. Starting off, we got 10 choice plays, and this is going to be a little bit of everything. If you like an option route of some sort, they just kind of dump it here. We got 18 curl plays. Curls, hitches, any type of curl of some sort that's somewhat medium or short, they will dump it here. 18 is a high number. I suggest you implement basic curl. If it's the most simple thing is the curl combo on the right, which is curl flat, definitely use it. Let's see, we got a high number of drive. This is the opposite of shallow cross. You got your dig and drag going in the same direction, and we're going to check out shallow cross that they go in the opposite direction. You got a levels. Let's say we got 10 mesh. This is going to be a base passing concept in your offense. I mean, it's air raid. If you're not going to run mesh, then what are you doing? We got a couple pivots. Let's see, pivot is a good complement to your mesh, except like motion Z spot, why they put that as a pivot, I don't understand. It's not a pivot right in there whatsoever, but double pivot looks pretty good. Salem, you got just 3, 4 shallows, so shallow and drive are going to go together. Slot cross, so we talked about this earlier. We have 10 of these, so Y cross, slot cross, this is typical air raid based stuff. I love it. 10 of them, good. We got 30 smash. That's a lot of high-low to the either side where it's a counter flat or a hitch flag, just kind of whatever you like to do there. And we got 14 spots. So I've talked about this a few times already. This is about the highest I've seen, especially for an air raid playbook. There's some pro-style playbooks that don't even have this much spot. You got to use this. Y corner is just a big deal to Garrett Riley, apparently. And we got 5 Texas. 5 is actually a really high number. Get that halfback out on an angle route, or it could be a tight end, as you can see with vertical tight end cross, but most of it's going to be halfback oriented. So I really wanted to point that out. Deep pass, we got over 100 plays here. Let's look. We got 20 comebacks. All those curls we talked about, just extend that baby and do some comebacks. 20 of them. That's a big number. Let's keep going. We have 9 double posts. I'm not the biggest fan of those, but they're in there, and 9's a decent number. 8 flood. A lot of this is going to be your Y sail type stuff in the air raid world. As you see, motion Y sail, 619 sail, air raid staple. 17 verticals. That's pretty common in most playbooks. You got plenty to go work with there. Let's see. We got 9 meals, just a post with a dig underneath it. That's a decent high number for that concept. 14 shots, whether it's play action or just chucking it deep in some form. They like to dump them here. We got 9 switches, a little run and shoot if you need a post wheel action. You got 9 of them. I think that's a decent amount. And then we got 2 more Y crosses. So all that slot cross we looked at, and we got this right here, a couple more Y crosses. Play action, we got 3 boots and 5 slide. You're not going to be doing a lot of this, but you got enough play action. Any play action you're going to be doing is more than likely going to have an air raid concept into it. Something like this, at least. PA, guess what? Y cross. I would be using that one in this offense especially. And your screens, we got 16 bubbles. So a bubble may be a big deal for you in this offense. 16 is really high compared to what I've seen in others. Flanker screen, 9 is a high number for that concept. We got 19 halfback slip screens. 19, that's a bunch. What does that tell you? You need to use this. Then we got 6 mid screens, just more wide receiver screens, but kind of going over the middle. One last thing, and I completely forgot to mention it. If you go over to my favorites, I've been trying to track all these motion plays. You got 63 of them. This is another reason why I didn't really highlight it earlier. 63 is a decent number, but it's nothing compared to some other ones that's got almost like 3 times as much as this. But again, what do we notice from before? A lot of it's either going to be halfback swings or jet sweeps. We saw a couple other ones in there as well, but those were the 2 big staples of the attack. All right, I think that is it. This is a really good air raid playbook. It's got a ton of plays in it. It's like 430 something last I checked. More than what you would ever need. If you just need a lot of flair, a lot of jet sweep, a lot of movement in your air raid, you really can't do any better than the Clemson playbook. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.